Hey guys, Iron Wolf here, back with another Hyrule Conquest build order video. I'm sorry if this one took a little bit longer to upload. I appreciate everyone's support. I've gotten a lot of feedback lately from the Wildfire Games forum and my Discord, and a couple other people that have reached out to me. I really appreciate the feedback and the support on all my builds and guides and whatnot. I hope to get more out to you guys in the near future. So today we'll be talking about the Gorons. The Gorons, in my opinion, are the weakest faction in the current version of the game. I don't think they have the I don't think their faction is fast enough and in gathering resources and building a substantial defense and army to deal with a lot of the common strategies you'll face with the Kokiri, the Gerudo, and whatnot, these very aggressive factions against factions like the Hylians or the Zora, these mid-range factions. They can hold their own. But they really struggle against some of these aggressive factions. But that said, that does not mean there is no way to play this faction. This faction is definitely playable and able to compete with the other factions. It's just going to be a lot more difficult. So the build I'll be talking about today is called High Defense Warriors and Tossers. This build is going to be a very standard, very defensive-heavy, defensive-oriented build with this faction. This will give you a good, start towards getting to tier 3, getting your resources going because the Gorons really struggle with getting a lot of resources up early in the game. It'll help you get resources, get to tier 3, and get a substantial defense as soon as possible. So, without further ado, let's get into it. As far as the Goron's heroes go, you can really go with any hero. I prefer either Darunia or Daruk or uh, Mini Goron. The reason for that being, Mini Goron gives the speed boost, or speed boost and whatnot, and then Darunia gives the capture boost and all that. The only Goron hero I would not recommend is Dangoro, although you can go for him if you're plan on playing a very long game, and you're going to need a lot of siege units later in the game. You're going to need that extra boost to your damage on buildings. All right, so we see here right off the bat, this is going to be a little different. So what we're doing here right off the bat is we're sending our workers to build a farm right here. You see, Roxaline Mine. Building 5 workers. These workers are going to be going onto the stone. And we're having our 2 guardians here, our workers, as well as one of the workers from over here. They're going to be building another farm right here, the 3 of them. And this is going to be your building team. So we have 3 of the starting workers going to build a farm. The other worker and your soldiers are going to be building a second farm. And you've got 5 workers coming out, going onto the stone. Because you're going to need a lot of stone, because you can't gather wood, so stone's your best bet. Alright, so the moment the building team here is done with this house, they're going to build a market. The reason you're going to need a market this early in the game is so you can trade the resources you have an excess of in replacement for the resources you're really struggling to get. So now that you've got, your 2 farms up, these 3 workers that built this one, they're going to stay on that one. And then of course you've got your 5 workers on the stone, building team working on the market. Now you're going to work on producing 3 workers individually onto this mine right here. So you can start getting that really good food income. And as soon as they all come out, we're going to start saving to get some workers on the ore, because you are going to be very deprived of ore very early in the game. And that's actually what we're going to be needing with the market. We're going to be needing to get some ore so we can get some of these early structures up. You won't need rupees till much later into the match, so you're going to be wanting to trade your rupees in replacement for ore and whatnot, this early at least. So now we're just waiting for our 250 food, because the moment we get 250 food, we're going to be getting a group of 5 miners here. They're going onto the ore. Now you're going to need to be careful, because a lot of the time with the Gorons, you might try to cap yourself out, and you need to be very, reliant on your micro and whatnot to make sure that that does not happen, because it will happen. Trust me, it'll be very easy to cap yourself out as this race. So be careful about that. So you see here, once we hit 250 food, we get our group of miners. They're going to be going onto the ore over here, like I mentioned earlier. Market's about to go up. Alright, right as the market goes up, let's pause and I'll show you what happens here. We're trading 100 rupees for our ore here. The reason we need this is because at this point in the game, we won't have any ore at all. And we're going to need ore to start getting some houses up so that we don't cap ourselves. So as soon as the market goes up, I'm trading 100 rupees for all the ore I can get. And my building team is going to build a hovel. So they're putting the hovel up. The 5 workers come out. They're going onto the ore. You're going to need to be getting a lot more workers on the ore soon as well. As you see here, as soon as I got to 150 food again, getting another 5 workers out. I like to put the building team on the ore until I have enough to build a quarry. The reason you're going to need this quarry this close to the ore is so that the workers on the ore have a less travel time between the ore and your town center, or their drop off. Also, you see here, I traded 100 materials for ore. You can trade rupees. I wanted to save my rupees for something I'll be trading later. But I traded materials because at this point in the game, I have a bunch of extra materials, and I needed to get that ore as soon as possible so that I could get this quarry up, as well as another hovel, so that we don't cap ourselves out. Alright, so let's go over some things. Alright, so we got our initial starting build, as you saw here. You know, we got our 2 farms, we got our workers on the stone, our workers on the farm, on our market up. As soon as we got that, we traded for more ore, got our hovel up, our 5 workers going out onto the ore. Then we're trading again to get a quarry and another hovel. All this while we're training another group of 5. So you should have 10 workers on the ore, as well as these buildings right here at this point in the game. So our building team going over here, building this hovel. They're going to be building another one in just a moment. Let me go to this. There we go. As soon as this hovel goes up, we're going to want to get 5 more workers, and they're going to be going onto the stone, because at this point we'll be producing more ore than we are stone, and we're going to start needing some more stone, as you see here. And then as soon as resources allow at this point, we're having the building team build a 3rd hovel right over there. So this group of 5 right here is going to be going onto the stone. We're going to put a quarry over here by the stone, so there's less travel time later. It's not as important right now, because it's still very close. But I like to put the building team on the ore whenever they're not doing anything. Workers come out, going onto the stone right there. Alright, at this point you're going to be saving for tier 2. You're going to want to get to tier 2 as soon as possible so that you can get a Hall of Warriors up as soon as possible. As you see here up in the top right, we have 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and we are saving for our tech. This is what I was saving my 200 rupees for earlier, was I'm saving so that I can trade in for materials and food so I can get this tech a little bit faster. You don't want to, oh, I accidentally built some tossers right here, but I unqueued them in just a moment. I traded the 100 rupees so that I could get more food and materials so I could get this tech faster. I would recommend you do that. It helps you get, you know, it lets you start teching up about 30 seconds, 40 seconds faster, which is really handy. You're going to need that for sure. So you see here, we're just waiting until we get 500 so we can start teching. Alright, we're at 500 food. Materials should be coming in soon. You can brute force your workers if you really need to. I didn't feel the need to, but if you do, you know, it's completely up to you on how you want to do it. Alright, so we hit 500 and we're teching up right now. Alright, at this point we're going to start needing some more food because we're going to be producing a lot more units. So as soon as resources allow, we're going to have our building team over here. They're going to build another farm. Probably right here or down here, just, you know, wherever you want to. See, as soon as we got the resources, another mine going up. And just like you did with this mine over here, as soon as you're done teching, you're going to get 3 more workers, and they're going to go onto this farm as well. I do this sometimes. It's a little trick I like to do sometimes. It's just so that because if the farm's already built and you have your rally point set on the farm, they'll garrison inside it instead of mining it. So I'll leave it, almost finished, and then have my building team go build their next thing. So right as the workers come out of my town center, um, they can just start building this and then mine it right away. But after this, your building team is going to start working on 3 houses. Whoops, yeah, 3 more. I queued up 2, but you're going to want to build 3 right here. So I got our 3 workers on the mine right here. There's that 3rd house. You're going to be wanting to get some more workers on the ore soon to fill up this last mine area right there. As you see right here, 5 workers. These ones are going on this last little vein of ore right there. Our 3rd house is being built. At this point, you're going to want to queue up a Hall of Warriors as soon as your resources allow after getting these 3 houses queued. You're going to need to get this up as soon as possible so you can start producing Fire Warriors. Fire Warriors are very important for this build. They're very tanky, they do a lot of damage, very strong unit. Very slow, but still very good. Alright, so now that we've got our 5 workers onto the ore right here, let's review. So after we teched up, we got this farm. We built 3 workers onto the farm. We got 3 houses. We got 5 more workers onto the ore. We're building our Hall of Warriors, and this next group of 5 workers that's going to come out are going to go onto the rupees. And at this point, the build becomes very simple. It's very, very straightforward at this point. So we get this Hall of Warriors coming up. They're going to be building some more things as soon as they're done with this, because you're doing really well on resources right now. Well, for the most part. The 5 workers come out, they're going onto the rupees. You're going to start needing to gather rupees so you can get your hero up. For this build, I just did Darunia because he's just a very standard basic hero. But like I said earlier, you can go with whichever one you prefer. Alright, so I went ahead and queued it up so that you guys could see. As soon as the Hall of Warriors is done, your building team's going to go over here and they're going to build a bomb tower. You can put it, on your forward line, your rear line, one of your flanks, just wherever you are worried that you might get rushed or you might get attacked. Because as you see right here, 7 minutes 20 seconds. If you're playing super micro heavy and going super try hard, you can probably squeeze this down to about 7-10, maybe even 7 minutes. But at this point, if you're fighting, let's say, a Kokiri player, at this point, they should be producing Deku trees and slingers and whatnot. If you're fighting a Goma or a Gerudo player, let's say, they should have, maybe like an expansion over here or, down here. So you're going to need to get a tower up because these bomb towers are very strong. They're very good. The Goron defenses are very good. So around this point, the heavy rush factions are going to be getting ready for a rush. So you're going to want to get a tower up as soon as you can. So as soon as resources allow, I should be getting a group of Fire Warriors. Yep. As you see here, I queued up Ruby Guards on accident, but yep, there we go, Fire Warriors. You're going to need a good group of those. And soon, you're going to want to start producing groups of Rock Tossers. Rock Tossers become... So with this build, the reason I'm using a lot of Rock Tossers is because, unfortunately, it's really the only ranged unit that the Gorons have until they get Bomb Throwers, which you can't get until Tier 3. So you're gonna want to get some, and they're pretty cheap, and they can gather resources and help build and stuff. So it's not a waste of a unit, but you're gonna be using your hero and your Fire Warriors for a lot of the attacks or a lot of the fights. So you're gonna need the extra DPS buff that the Rock Tossers provide. And they can, stay away at a distance while your Fire Warriors and your hero are doing a lot of the tanking. So soon you're going to want to start getting groups of those. But as you see here, as soon as the bomb tower goes up, we're going to go ahead and queue up 3 more houses. You're going to need to be building a lot of houses as this faction. This faction is very easy, as I mentioned earlier, to cat themselves out with. So bomb tower is about to go up. Alright, start working on these houses. And with their units, you're not going to want to produce them individually. You're going to want to produce them in groups. That may take a while, but trust me, it is faster. See here, we're queuing up another group. Getting these houses up. We're going to be building some more towers and houses very soon. So at this point, honestly, you're waiting till you have the resources to get your hero. You need to get these rupees in. You can brute force your workers if need be. It's completely up to you what you want to do. You see these warriors getting close to coming out. Now I start producing tossers. You want to make sure you have the resources to build the tower and the next 3 houses before you start producing your tossers, because you don't want to build tossers and then these, because you will cap yourself out, trust me. But soon after the tossers, we should be getting our hero here, King Darunia. Fire warriors coming out. There they are. Really strong unit right here. Very good unit. Okay. So let's look over some things. So after we get this Hall of Warriors up, we start producing groups of Fire Warriors. We're going to start saving our resources for our hero with our rupees. We're going to be saving rupees, I mean, to get our hero. We're going to be building a bomb tower right after that, then 3 more houses. Then after you have the resources for these, then you can start producing groups of rock tossers. And then now at this point, after you've gotten all these, you're going to want to build another tower. You can put it, you know, one of your flanks or just anywhere that you didn't put this one. You don't want to focus your early defenses in the same place, unless you're like completely certain that they're going to rush you from this one place. I would spread them out. But just like we did over here where we built a tower and 3 houses, over here we are also going to build a tower and 3 houses. So we have our first group of rock tossers out, building another one. Fire warriors coming out as well. At this, as you see here, we are at 63 out of 65 pop. We are doing a good job of not capping ourselves out. Actually, I'll go back to observer. And now I queue up my hero. Sometimes I like to get 2 groups of rock tossers out before I get my hero, just so I can have more units to protect him. But you know, it's completely up to you. Still getting our groups of fire warriors. All right, second tower goes up, getting these houses up as well. At this point, the build becomes very straightforward. You're going to be doing a lot of the same thing and a lot of the same tricks. Like you're going to be doing another set of bomb tower and houses. You're going to be doing some more of those. Usually when you build a bomb tower, you're going to want to build houses along with it. So we got our hero about to come out. Second group of rock tossers. Second group of fire warriors about to come out. As you see here. About to finish these houses. See, at this point in the game, a lot of factions will be, a lot of the mid-range factions will start, you know, being ready to start harassing or just, you know, playing a little more aggressive to see, you know, oh, what's this player up to? The rush heavy factions like the Gerudo, the Goma, the Kokiri might be getting ready to start their big rush at this point, because as you see here, we're at close to the 11 minutes 20-second mark. We have, you know, a decent army, and we have a bomb tower up. You know, this should protect us from most harasses or rushes in the game. This Deku Tree rush may or may not work. It depends on how well you are at defending. So just keep that in mind. You know, around this point, be watching out for harasses or raids or rushes in general. Hero about to come out here, getting another group of rock tossers as always. I'll speed things up for you guys because a lot of this is repetition. So you see here we're getting another tower and 3 more houses, just like we did over there and over here. Still producing tossers and fire warriors. I like to have my tossers help build out or help out build a little bit, you know, just to, you know, get things moving a little bit faster, get that population cap up. But you're gonna want to get 3 towers or do 3 of these, tower houses combos as far as like building. You want to get at least 3, covering 3 different sections, just so you have a wide range of protection and vision and whatnot. So at this point, the build is pretty much completed. I'll speed things up a little bit just so that you can get an idea of something else I was planning on doing. This is for your tier 3 tech. You're going to start working on a smithy and then a fortress. As soon as you get the smithy up, you're going to want to save resources to get a fortress. So you see here, we've got, our towers and our army. We got a pretty decently sized army at this point. So we can protect against most attacks. We're doing very well for ourselves right now. Alright, let's slow it down. Whoa, what in the world? Alright, I was about to say, what the heck? Alright, there we go. Speeding it up makes my computer lag a little bit, so I apologize for that. Alright, so as you see here, as soon as we got that last set of towers and tower and houses up, we get a smithy, and then we get a stronghold. You can choose for going, like, it doesn't matter which order of the two you want to go with. You can go for stronghold first and then, smithy. You want to get the stronghold up on your weakest flank. Just whatever's convenient for you, whatever you want to do and how you want to do it. I think I'd go and attack here. You don't have to. This build is for, defending against a lot of rushes and raids and whatnot that you're going to need to be able to like learn how to deal with as the Gorons, because that's something they really struggle with. But you can attack, it's completely up to you. But you see here, we have the stronghold up. Put the stronghold on your weakest flank, or just wherever you are most concerned about attacks from. And then at this point, honestly, you can start saving for tier 3 so that you can get, whatever you want pretty much. That's pretty much the Goron build in a nutshell. You see here, I'm building 3 more houses just so I can, keep producing fire warriors and rock tossers. But yeah, at this point, you've got your standard base up, and then you've got your smithy and your fortress up, as well as, a pretty good sized army of tossers and fire warriors, as well as your hero. So at this point, start saving for tier 3. Tier 3 at this point is going to be very handy because a lot of other factions might not be getting ready for that just yet. But and you're in a very good place right now as the Gorons. Let's look at the resources. We've got a lot of food, a lot of materials, so we're in a really good place. If we're needing to, pump out a bunch of buildings or a bunch of units, and we need the ore, we can trade rupees or materials or food or just whatever we need from that market we got here earlier. The market is your friend. Do not be afraid to spend too many of some of these other resources to make sure you have more ore, because trust me when I say this, ore, like, do not be worried about any other resource besides ore as the Gorons. You will be fine with all the other resources except for ore. Ore is a big problem in this faction. But yeah, that's about it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It took a little while to make, so I apologize for that. This is a very tricky faction to figure out because they are very, very weak in the current version of the game right now. But like I said before, there are still ways to work around it and compete with them. So I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and join my Discord if you guys, would like to talk more about Hyrule Conquest and strategies and whatnot. Maybe we can experiment and figure out some new things. I'd love to, talk to you guys and hear what you have to say and get your input as far as this game goes. I will be making an announcement within the next couple weeks about a potential tournament that I would like to host for Hyrule Conquest. I will link more details about that in my Discord, and so be sure to go there. And also, like always, I will leave a link to the text-based version of this build, as well as a replay of this match in the description below, as well as a link to my previous build videos. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.